So this brings us to, and talk about as full circle as it can get, the Revisited project, which as we're taping this was just released, right? On the first.
Yeah. Yeah, so we decided to re-record The Artist in the Ambulance. Uh, this is an idea I had when we were supposed to be doing Horizons West, the sister record to East, but we realized, oh no, we're actually totally burnt out from doing this record and do not want to do an entire other record right now. And I was like, well, we don't have to. I know we said we were going to do it, but that's a
Wait a
stupid
second.
reason to
You
keep
don't
doing
have
something. Yeah.
to. Yeah.
I was like, what if we don't? And I was like, artist 20 years coming up. I'm sure we're gonna like that's gonna be a big milestone. We'll tour. And I was like, what if we record it? Like we've always talked about how we don't love the mix and it feels stiff and we play these songs different live now.
I
They
was gonna
just
say after
they
the
breathe
20
more.
years of playing them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's just
Long
stuff we do
pipeline of
different and especially yeah, there's a lot. So we went through a variety of like, can we really do this? Is this a terrible idea? If we do it, how do we do it? How much do we change it? How much do we keep the same? And uh, ended up kind of landing on we're just going to play this, but we're going to address a couple things. So we're addressed. I mean, so we're playing with our tones that we would more do these days. A little bit more intense than I think our normal record would be. You know, I had like another gain stage in my uh rig, but it's just a little goosing for the the shredding and stuff. Um, but we mess with some of the tempos where we would listen back and be like, goodness gracious, this has no groove because it's going so fast on this part. So did some tempo mapping where we'd let a part be going quick and then slow down because it felt like it needed to breathe and um doing some of that and then some of the more produced stuff like some of the string sections we didn't try to emulate. Just didn't it felt like this is not what we do live anyway. Doesn't really feel like something we do now. And so let those parts kind of some of them we recreate with guitars, some of them we just let it breathe there and give some space. So I mean in the end what's been cool is I think we achieved what we were trying to do and people are feeling that where the common thing people are saying is this is like hearing this record for the first time, but I already know it. And it's like a weird, I feel like it's almost like a strange deja vu-ish thing where you're like, I've done this before, but I'm doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what we wanted. I mean, we wanted to honor the record. First we're like, should we add new things and change things we don't like and change the order of everything? And we just realized like that's going to be too much. That's not going to feel, I think, respectful to the record in a way, like to the thing that people are so keyed into and have listened to for so long. But it's also the same reason why we didn't just remix it because it's like people are used to that exact way of listening to the old one. So like let's let it relive. And yeah, I feel like we threaded the needle on it.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell, but I mean, I thought there would be a lot more negative reaction. It's been overwhelmingly positive. So
I love the revisited, the reimaginings, director's cuts, when because something that fans often forget is a director's cut doesn't erase the theatrical version. Like these things all still exist. When a band re-records a record, it's not, no one's saying throw away the original.
yeah,
It's like, no, this is just a different interpretation and almost like an alternate universe. What if this record was recorded now as opposed to recorded then? And sometimes there's
except
business
except
reasons
with
that bands do it.
streaming though, like with streaming, you can't stream like the old Star Wars.
Yeah, there are some
You know what I'm
cases
saying? Like they just have
where they have replaced.
newer ones up. So
There's some Megadeth records where you can't stream the pre 2004 remixes, which is a shame, in my opinion, because I wasn't a big fan of those. And then you know, plenty of times it is better, you know, it is improved by the remix or the remaster or whatever down the road. But yeah, I like that this is revisited because it's not replacing the original record. The original record's there, and this is just a different way to hear it. It's almost like a live celebration album of it, but with the benefit of being in studio.
Yeah, and a lot of people have talked about how it feels really live, and I mean that's generally how we just like to record now. We want it to feel loose and lively and real. I think even the second of pre-roll on there where you hear there's your room and you hear and take a breath and whatever, it changes the feel of it as you go forward too.
Totally. And again, so much less pressure in terms of, you know, the creative vision that you're working so hard to get out and present last time, whereas this time it's like, okay, these songs are out there, people know them, people love them, you love playing them, you've been playing them for 20 years. It had to have been more fun.
It was great. It was a lot of fun actually. Like it really was cool to go back and by doing that, like really appreciate what, you know, we did well when we wrote the record and just make something that like now we can hear and be like, yeah, that's what that's supposed to sound like. Like, you know, especially the singing for me is much, much better, but and not just even in tone, just like there's like I think Silhouette's the easiest one to hear, but it's so stiff sounding how I sing it on the record and on the old one. And you can hear more of the live vibe where it's just it's a bit laid back and lazy around it, the rhythm in a much better way. So yeah, it sounds like it's supposed to now.
Sure. Well, dude, thank you for taking this disc dive with me. I know it's quite the ask when
It's
you
a
have
journey.
a catalog as extensive as yours. And but you know, I love doing this with artists where, you know, there's not like 4 forgettable records you have to get through. every you have the benefit of every record Thrice has made has been great, and your soul stuff's been cool. So, you know, there wasn't the like bummer album that we had to go
Thank you.
yeah, about that one. So yeah, it makes it a lot of fun, and it's a good excuse to catch up with a friend. So appreciate you taking the time to do it, man.
Dude, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, awesome.